And here we are, barely. Welcome, everybody, to the March 7th episode of Ask Us Anything. We are back on the Emerald Coast in Florida, and we have been here all of about 7 minutes. Literally, we arrived, brought our stuff up to the condo, and hooked up the internet, and here we are. And you look really none the worse for wear. What did you do?
Not much. Not much.
Okay.
I don't know where my makeup is. I'll find
Oh my gosh.
food and makeup. I'll find later.
You don't need any makeup.
We don't need showers.
No, we don't need stinking showers. Yeah. So I'm wearing my hat. Yeah. Hey, hello, everybody. Welcome. We are coming to you live tonight on all of our social media platforms, or our main ones anyway, our YouTube, Facebook group, our YouTube page channel, our RV Lifestyle Facebook group, our RV Lifestyle Facebook page, and our RV Lifestyle Facebook supporters group. So they are all there. And I got to turn off my announcement here whenever I get email so that won't bother everybody. And we'll quit that right there. Hey, let's bring on Phyllis Care from Iowa tonight as we come to you from the Emerald Coast. What a day. You had nice weather in Iowa, didn't you?
It was 70 degrees. And
wow.
Yeah, wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
70 degrees here in Florida. Mm-hmm. Chris Cowley is over on our YouTube channel. He is in West Virginia, almost heaven. And we don't have him on camera, but he's helping everybody on the YouTube channel. So, but for those of you on the Facebook channel, when we take our questions, many times you'll see us, most times you'll actually see us take somebody by name. And that's because their name shows up. You on Facebook have to do some work. Phyllis, would you tell them about that, what they have to do for that?
Sure. If you're watching from the Facebook page, we'll see your name. But if you're watching from the Facebook group, Facebook likes to keep your name hidden from us unless you click the link and give StreamYard permission to show us your name. StreamYard is the name of the system that Mike uses for this live stream. So that's the only thing. Otherwise, you show up as Facebook user and we don't know who you are.
And we like to say hi to you by name. So, but if you'd rather be an anonymous user. And then Phyllis, by the way, everybody handles all of our social media and all sorts of other stuff with the RV Lifestyle platform. And we have our Facebook supporters, and sometimes the Facebook folks only see a couple of the questions. But remember, all the questions we get also come from our YouTube channel. So we get hundreds of them. And it's hard to keep track of them. So if you don't get your question answered, what do we tell them?
Right. Don't worry about it. First off, you have to understand where Mike and Jennifer are seeing the questions is inside of StreamYard. And it's funneling the questions from Facebook and from YouTube. So they all get mixed in together. So on Facebook, you might see two questions and it takes us a half an hour to get there. Don't worry about it. We will definitely get there. You don't need to type it twice or get worried or mad or upset or any of those things. We will get to it when we get to it. And if we don't, we'll try to answer it over in the Facebook group.
We will. We'll check back in with you later. And if there's anything that I'm missing, like when we get a super chat, you YouTube people can do a little super chat. You go right to the head of the line. And Phyllis will jump in and let me know if I'm missing anything. So thank you, Phyllis.
All right.
We always like to start off. By the way, again, for those of you tuning in, we are on the Emerald Coast on Okaloosa Island. We have a condo. That's our second residence. We have one in Michigan and then one here. And we are done with our winter camping. We had fun winter camping this year.
I had a blast. I would have liked to have gotten a couple more in.
Yeah. And Bo is kind of happy to be here, but he's going to miss the snow real quick.
He is.
So we are on Okaloosa Island. That's in the panhandle of Florida. I think I saw 72 degrees on one of the signs as we came on the island this just a couple minutes ago. So we always like to start with the very first person who asked a question, and that is Elizabeth. And Elizabeth says,
when you leave an RV campground, do you prefer to dump your tanks at your site or use the dump station where you have the water that's you can't drink?
Well, I always empty, if I can, at the site. So I start off wherever we're going that day, whether it's to another campground or Boona, I start off with an empty black water tank and empty gray water tank. so that's just something I don't have to worry about.
And you pay more money to have that ability to empty your tank on your spot.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't have to pay that extra money if you weren't going to use it, but you always like to use it right there. And then also, if you wait till you drive out, there might be several other vehicles and it's going to take you longer to empty your tanks and get going, get on with your day.
Now, on this trip, we left Michigan on Thursday morning, spent Thursday night at the Louisville South KOA. And that's kind of when we head down to the Emerald Coast area. That's where we usually overnight, right about there. It's our second time staying there. We really like that campground. This time I de-winterized, and we were thinking, I thought I should do a video on it, but then it didn't. It was
a very short process.
I mean, what did you think it took? Maybe
just a couple of minutes.
Maybe 5 minutes at the most. The hardest part was just bending over and reaching underneath the cabinet. That's not hard. And turning 3 valves. So when you de-winterize, it's just the reverse process of what you did when you winterize. So there's really nothing to show, and it's unique to every RV where those valves are. So there's not a video to make on it. I suppose I could stretch it out to one that's 20 seconds long, but yeah, I didn't. So we stayed there, and we did empty all of our tanks, the black water, the gray water. We got all the antifreeze out of the system from the winterizing, and now we have water. And our rig is de-winterized.
But you need to do something so that it, to make it nice and clean and fresh, the water.
We'll have a blog post. You sanitize the water. We use a little baking soda with that, sometimes a little bit of bleach when you put that in the freshwater tank. And then that will really run. And then you run it through the whole plumbing system. And we'll do that probably down here. But I didn't do it, and it was fine. Douglas joins us with a question.
Douglas really wants a Class B, but it appears Class Cs are cheaper, although larger. What gives?
Well, it depends on what kind of a Class C you're getting. Now, there are a lot of RVs, Class Cs in particular, that are built by the thousands on an assembly line. Those models, and those generally are cheaper because they have cheaper components and they are cheaper. But a good quality, and that's what you're looking for, is going to cost money. Class B's, people are always amazed that you can get a Class A for what you get a Class B for. But a Class B is completely customized. It's basically a van that you then have to make all the parts to customize to fit inside. Whereas most Class C's are simply a box that is bolted on to the cutaway chassis. Whether it's a Ford Transit or a F-250, or whether it's a Sprinter, they get the cutaway chassis and they just kind of build a box or build the RV part and bolt it on that chassis. So right away, that's a little cheaper than having to customize and fit everything inside the constrained 4 walls of a van.
Yeah, taking everything out, putting in the insulation and windows, cutting holes. I mean, there's a lot involved with a Class B.
Yeah, so Class Bs are more expensive because they're a little more intricate to build. Mm-hmm. Good question, Douglas, and perceptive man. And he just asked another one.
All right. Experienced RVers seem to talk about the lack of storage in their units. What takes up so much room?
Well, everybody complains.
Everybody complains. I think even if people who have a Class A complain that they don't have enough storage area. I think the number one thing with whatever storage area you have is that the person who's the detail person, the neat person, should do the packing. Because if you just toss it in, you're going to waste a lot of space.
Are you talking to me?
So how you pack has a lot to do with it. And I think because we are so blessed to have so much that we tend to want to take too much. And you can't take everything you want to take. We don't need all that we have, most of us.
When you first start off as an RVer, you bring everything. I mean, you bring everything. And we've had like 4 or 5 RVs now. And whenever we're finished with one and traded in and start to take stuff out, we come up with, why did we ever pack this? We've never used it. So each time we get an RV, we take less and less. But, there's never going to be enough room to take everything. But
And the more room you have, the more you take. You say,
Yeah.
"Oh, I got room for this. I've
Yeah.
got room for that." You just start tossing things in.
So it's a more the experienced ones. Just to reverse your question a little bit, the experienced RVers figure this out pretty quickly. That you don't need to bring all the stuff that you think you might need, but it's the inexperienced ones who are the ones that are complaining about a lack of space. Julie has a question.
Are there any more RV shows planned for this year? And if yes, any that are not just in the far south? We're from the Midwest.
Julie, you must not subscribe to our weekly newsletter, and you can go do so right now. You'll get it tomorrow morning. It'll be in your mailbox when you get up. Just go to rvlifestyle.com. That's our travel blog, and you'll see a place to sign up. Sign up for our newsletter. Every week at the bottom of the newsletter, we list all of the upcoming RV shows. And I think, and we also report them on our podcast. So you may not know we have a podcast. Just search on your favorite app for RV Podcast, the RV Podcast. That's us. And we all report them there as well. So there are a lot of RV shows all over the country. And I just reported on some last week in the Midwest. We usually list them going out 2 weeks. If we were to go any further than that, the whole podcast would be taken up, promoting shows. But there are a lot of RV shows. It's back. It is back. And it's not just in the deep south. The Midwest is a little slower, and they've been a little stricter up there in many places because of COVID. But many places in the country now have RV shows. So go subscribe to our newsletter, and when you get it, read it all. But then down at the bottom, we always have the RV calendar, and we list all the upcoming shows. Linda Ward. Hi, Linda.
I am a sheet snob. When you do your bedding review, would you please talk about how tight the bedding is? Thanks.
Well, our bedding review is coming up next Saturday, and we have
It's already made.
Yeah, we already made the video, but we kind of show that. When we made the video, we had just gotten the third. We reviewed 3 bedding solutions, high-end bedding solutions, and maybe I should say, we should preface that by saying you don't have to spend a lot of money for bedding in an RV.
No, you could just go get sheets from anywhere. And if you have a sewing machine, alter them yourself so that they fit whatever you have, whatever mattress that you have. Or you can just pick up a sleeping bag
for $29.
Any place you want to pick one
right.
up.
I mean, that will work great. So that said,
we're showing you all this expensive
We're
stuff.
showing you stuff. All of ours cost about a little under $500 for 2 beds, for everything. Not 3 sets, but each set's about that much. So we did the RV super bag, which we have used for a long time, and it's been great.
We like it.
And then we did Aurora linens. Aurora makes custom bed sheets for the leisure travel van models, but I think they'll also do them for other sizes. You just have to contact them.
And Linda, I made a mistake with those when I ordered the sheets. The fitted, if you like your sheets really tight, here I ordered from them because I wanted just the perfect right size. But then I had these options. So I got a little extra fabric, thinking that I wanted to make sure that it went around, and if I wanted to put a pad on, that it would. But I think if you just got their standard sheets, it would be plenty big enough. So I ordered more than what I needed.
And I think you say that in the
I do, but just in case Linda misses it.
And then the third option that we did is one that you guys here told us about a few months ago, or a couple of weeks ago, I guess it was. Beddys, Beddys. We got those, and we each got 2 singles. And I kind of slept in one for a gag in the video that you'll see next Saturday. But we've slept in them now the last 2 nights as we've driven down south. And I can say right now, those are my favorites.
You love them.
I have never slept so well in an RV with a mattress pad that we got from Aurora Linens, and then the Beddys on top of that. And we have a little foam pad you put on the mattress too. So we have a mattress, an 1.5-inch foam pad that we picked up. I don't even know where we got that. Bed Bath & Beyond someplace. And then a mattress topper, and then the Beddys. And the Beddys, you'll see that's the best sleeping situation.
I'm sure we'll be talking about that a lot because it works great for you.
Yeah. Well, you liked it.
Yes, I do. But because of what you cocoon, this, this is like your perfect sleep solution.
Yeah, it is.
So
All right. Despina. Hi, Despina. How are you? She has a question.
A recent campground asked campers not to use private hotspots as they interfered with the campground's Wi-Fi. Does that mean that the camp was using cellular Wi-Fi instead of cable-based internet?
That is what I would suspect, because a traditional Wi-Fi service is not going to be interfered with by cellular Wi-Fi service, completely different frequencies. So if they are using a cell phone service and then streaming it, it's going to get overtaxed really quick. And then when everybody does come on with their private hotspots, it's going to drain the capacity of that cell tower that you're accessing. So that is my suspicion. And, tough, that's why you have a hotspot. And it's on the cheap. If they're trying to use cellular Wi-Fi instead of, a cable-based internet system, they're really trying to chintz. And I'm surprised that I'm sure they're going to take a hit from the cell provider. I don't know how they're doing that. They've got some deal going, but that should not happen. You should be able to use your hotspots completely different. Yours is completely wireless, and cable works with you're not on the same thing unless they're using cellular for their internet, which they shouldn't be doing. So I shouldn't say there's no law against it. That's not the best way to do it. How's that? James Harris.
Okay, in a winterized Unity FX, can I shower when camping in freezing temperatures if I use water that I bring in containers with my portable shower to drain to gray tank with anti-freezing tank?
I would not do that.
You're
First
asking
of
for
all,
trouble.
It's a lot of work. I mean, that's a lot of work. You're going to have to, it's just a mess. Yeah, the antifreeze would probably turn it into slushy, but then it's going to sit there. James, that's a
You can
crazy
do anything you
solution.
want to do.
Yeah,
but,
if you're happy
a lot of
doing
work.
that, could you technically do that? Probably, but it's just a crazy solution. You'd have to put as much antifreeze down that gray tank as you put water in. How's that? And you're going to fill up your gray tank like really quick,
Like it's sponge bath time.
Yeah.
Or find a shower someplace.
So what we do when we need a shower and we're camping in the wintertime, we can't use it. We found a campground, a winter campground that did have showers. That was great.
That was wonderful.
Platte River in northern Michigan a couple of weeks ago. But we belong to a national health club chain, ours Anytime Fitness, and we can use their showers. Many times, if you go into a motel, you can say, "Hey, can we use your?
You have a shower.
Do you have a shower?" I'm going to let you do the next question. I just because we can't hear. We just started. My battery's going to die. I got to plug us in. So you keep talking. I got to go get my charger.
Your charger.
Right. Next question, Jennifer.
Next question.
Go for it.
Pressure's on. What's the best surge protector to use in our Class C motorhome from BC, Canada? And that's one Mike has to answer. What's the best surge protector to use in a Class C motorhome? He says a good one.
Hang on a minute. I got my charger. I don't want to lose it.
Oh, he's worried sick he's going to lose this.
Got my charger.
That's
So
good.
here we
I'm
go.
glad you got your charger.
If you go to our gear page, GEAR, RVlifestyle.com/gear, excuse me, my dear, you will find, I told you we just got here when we went on the air. If you go to our gear page, GEAR, RVlifestyle.com/gear, I've got a couple of them on there right now. Don't chintz on getting a surge protector. This is something that you want to put between the RV, you want to plug your power cord into that and then plug that into the electrical receptacle at the campground. Don't chintz on it. Expect to spend a couple, $300 for it. That's our advice. So go for it. All right. Hope that answered your question. Let's see.
Robin?
Robin was the question.
When you go on a trip in your LTV for at least a month, how many frozen and planned meals that you take, that do I make before we go?
Well, see, I could have gone and gotten the charge it then, and you could have answered that.
Yeah,
one.
that one I could have answered easily.
Okay.
Okay, it depends on how much dog food we bring for Bo as to how many meals we can take. Bo gets a frozen dog patty every day that really takes up the space in our freezer. So it depends on how many dog patties I bring for Mr. Bo. That's a spoiled dog. I take probably 7 meals that are planned. It's just, frozen, planned meals. It's always better if you plan. And I've gotten so now when I travel, I have a box with all my recipes in, my favorite recipes. And instead of trying to think, I'll pull a couple of these, I just bring the whole box. And it makes it easier for me.
I just shut the door because I could see that we have a room fan that was going around in there, and it was kind of
like a disco or
yeah,
something.
it was like we're in a disco.
All we need now is a fog machine.
Yeah. Dan Mitchell.
Mike, what frequency do you sit on? Would be nice to connect with you sometime.
I when I'm on the road, I don't talk much because, even though I moved it, I just got a new speaker I put for my ham radio, but I use a hotspot like this right here. I use this, and I hang out on the, if Fusion Radio. I hang out on the reflector called the Zombie Alert Network. I know, sounds crazy, but that's where you'll find me. You'll find me on that later tonight. I just kind of monitor that all the time. The Zombie Alert Network. It's a Fusion radio system. Sometimes I'll be on the national simplex frequency of 14652. I've never talked to another ham radio operator who's mobile on 14652 ever. There just aren't that many of them on. So I listen to that Fusion network most of the time, and talk to people all over the world. I'm working on my ham radio. I shot my shack part of it, which is our base station. So anyway, you can find me there, Dan, on the Zombie Alert Network. I can't figure out.
This is okay. Hi, Linda from Farmington Hills here. Watched your winter camping videos. Would it be hard to pull a 26-foot trailer through the snow in those campgrounds? We pull with an F-150.
Well, you've got 4-wheel drive on the F-150. The roads were all plowed, were they not?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yes, you could. I did not see anyone with a towable in any of the parks we visited. At Ludington, we were the only ones there.
Nobody there.
Nobody else except us. And at Platte River, there were some tenters there and one other small motorhome, Class B motorhome. But at Tequamanon Falls, we've seen people with trailers and snow. They have even more snow up there. So yes, when you book a campground or when you're on the way, call the park ranger or whoever you can get a hold of and make sure that the road, the access road, and the site is plowed. Otherwise, it would be a little bit tough to go, backing up in a foot of snow. So, but most of them are all paved. They pave those roads all the time.
Yeah, to Tequamanon Falls, there's lots of pull-throughs.
Yeah, there's pull-throughs. Try and get a pull-through, obviously, and ask them.
Go online.
Make sure it's plowed. But if they're open, they're going to plow it for you. So you're already plowed. Hi, James Massey with a question.
What was the name of that add-on leveler system that you used? Is there a special tech needed to install?
Yes. Yes.
Considering adding it to the Sprinter C-Class.
You will have no problems with that. We added ours. We were the first one to add it as an option on the Ford Transit system, the chassis. And the name of the company that we used is Equalizer, and they're out of Elkhart, Indiana. It is not a do-it-yourself job. It's not a do-it-yourself job. So you can call them. I can tell you it's about $4,000 to get an automatic leveling system. So is it worth it for you to drive up and down those little Lego blocks or carry your own wood and try and level it that way? If you're going to keep your RV for a long time, if you for us, it really is a luxury.
It's a big luxury.
But we spent the money willingly because last night in Nashville, and we stayed in our. I don't want to get my son. We stayed in my son's house in his driveway, and his driveway is pretty slanted, except right up towards the front, you can get in. And so we scooched up the front, but I was still down a little bit, at the back end. And so I just used the equalizer, and we slept perfect there.
Yeah, it made it really easy because you didn't have to drive onto anything or
Yeah,
back up or
when you
forward.
drive on, you fall off, you go too, it's just.
But it's a very expensive luxury.
Yeah, equalizers, a system. They've got the Sprinter system nailed down fine. They have figured out how to do it on the Ford Transit, and that is all working out really well as well. And I will not have an RV without it, I don't think.
Well, if they like to go backwoods and a lot of bumpy roads and everything, they lose a few inches.
Yes, you
of
do
clearance.
lose a little clearance.
So you might not like that.
Our first
Might not be worth it.
boondocking trip when we did it, I have snap pads on mine, which are at about 1.5 inches. And I hit a big rut in a little 2-track road, and I broke one of the snap pads off. It works fine.
With the wife chirping.
The wife chirping, yes, rather loudly, but we
And
fixed
Bo
it up.
nervous.
Yeah. Terry Nelson.
What backup camera do you use?
The backup camera, I use the one that came on our unit. It's from the Ford. It's on the Ford system, and it's great. You put it in reverse and you see out back. That's the backup camera. I do have a always on back view camera that I added extra to ours, and I can't for the life of me remember the name of it. I just bought it off the shelf at the RV dealer I went to. There are a million of them out there. You can get them wirelessly. You can get them wired. It's a monitor and a camera, and I have it mounted up at the very top of our RV, and I have a full view of the road behind me. And I don't remember the brand. It doesn't make any difference. They're all the same pretty much. So I bought mine off the shelf at the RV dealership, Holland Motorhomes, when I bought our RV in June. And I think I put the same thing on the Sprinter-based RV we had as well.
Mm-hmm.
I did it for you because
Yeah.
you missed not having a rear view mirror.
Yeah, I want to see behind me.
And I'm really hooked on watching it. The only caution with that kind of a camera is at night. The headlights really flare and you end up turning it off. But
Mm-hmm.
during the day, it works great.
Mm-hmm.
Jennifer with the question.
Can you please tell us what Class B plus unit is the best?
Whichever one works for you. B plus, I'd look at Pleasureway. I would look at Leisure Travel Van. Those are both Canadian companies, by the way. Both of them are Canadian. Pleasureway is in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, and Leisure Travel Van is in Winkler, Manitoba. Both of them are family-owned businesses. They don't mass produce a gazillion of them. They really are known for their quality. In the U.S., the Winnebago Echo, EKKO, is getting lots of really positive reviews these days. And if you really want to spend a fortune, there is the Airstream Atlas, which is a very luxurious Class B plus. In my opinion, it's a bit overpriced, a whole lot overpriced. But those are the best B pluses that I could recommend. Godmitts.
Okay, given that you
Go for mitts. I don't know.
changed,
I'm just going to use names that say Bob or Bill.
you haven't got your glasses on.
Yeah.
It'll take you a while to find them. Given that you change RVs every year or so, and given the long lead time for new RVs, have you ordered your next RV yet?
No, that's what we have to decide. Probably we would get a 2022 or 2023 would be our next one. And we haven't decided. Frankly, we really like what we have in this leisure
And
travel
we don't
events.
even have 10,000 miles on it yet.
Yeah, I have not turned because of last year.
Yeah.
Normally, we're on the road 3/4 of the time, and normally we put on close to 50,000 miles a year on our RVs. This one, I haven't even turned 10,000 yet. Now I will. I think I turned 9,000 today or yesterday. But
We'll get there.
so we haven't really given much thought to it. but we probably will get one more at least. We're really liking what we have right now, so we'll see. All right, I was going to say BB, but
Okay.
who knows?
Any issue or concerns with salty air when you have stayed at the ocean?
No, not anymore. I have more of a concern about salt from the roads in Michigan underneath the unit than I do about the salty air out here.
Well, salty air is nasty too.
Yeah, it's not like the salt that coats the RV. Like I have to take that in the next day or two and wash it. Because it's just coated with roads. Because we did a lot of winter camping this year in Michigan. But the salt water, the rain kind of washes that off. It doesn't coat underneath it, and
that's what's wrong with the car that we leave in Florida. It's in a little covered area, so the rain doesn't hit it. And boy, the salt is just destroying this car.
Yeah, the salt destroys the print, but it just sits there with salt air on it all day. The rain doesn't get to it. So, but an RV,
salt isn't good, I don't think.
MacDillies.
Okay, a comment.
Mad Dillies.
From experience, carry one of your keys in your RV lock. I love mine, but did it lock out all the time?
Wait a minute. I love mine, but did get locked out one time.
Oh. So also make sure your door is completely closed.
Yeah,
when using keypad to open. Yeah.
Always do that. And
always give it a little push. Man, it got locked out.
Well, I always have the key to the RV with me, usually. But
I don't.
Well,
guess I better, huh?
That's why you travel with me.
This is why we got this, so we wouldn't have to have a key in hand.
We haven't been locked out yet. We just got it, but I really like it. If you had wondered what we're talking about, everybody, our YouTube channel, that's our video this week. We installed a new keyless entry system to our RV from RV Lock. Love the system. I have no connection with them. They're not an advertiser. We paid full retail for it, but I really like it. It's a combination lock. It's got a key. It's got a key fob, but we use that combination lock. It's so nice. So many times, like here in Florida where I keep it, I lock it all up, but I want to get something out of the RV, and I didn't bring my keys with me.
Now, I wonder how old his lock was. I wonder if they've improved these with time, because ours is new.
Yeah, your batteries.
The whole. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Batteries.
Yeah, you should change the batteries on that. They say every 5 to 6 months. In our case, in Michigan, I'll probably change them every couple months when it's up. If we're up in Michigan a lot. Now, this is the first time we've spent the whole winter in cold weather, and we're done with the cold weather. We're staying here until it warms up out there. We're staying down south, and this is our base. I'm always talking. Why are you doing that? We have a condo, which is here in the Emerald Isles, and then we rent this out. It's kind of a rental property. So we rent it out in the summer, which is when we're always gone. But we come down numerous times a year, and this time, we expect to be down in Central Florida next week or the week after. We've got 2 or 3 stories we're chasing down there. Then we got some family coming for they want some beach time here. Beach is just out there. It's gorgeous. You're still seeing the sunset tonight. I'll be doing some live stuff on our Instagram account this week to show you how beautiful it is. I just to rub it in. For all you cold clamps, I just like to rub it in.
Okay. So this rental property. So last time we were here, we hired somebody to come in and
right back there, to clean up our roof.
Yeah, from Hurricane Sally. And so you saw me sneezing a lot in the beginning because got the paint smell going on in here and some dust and things. But we needed again to come back.
So that back wall, the hurricane. We're in like the 4th floor, but the hurricane some water came through
from up above.
And it came down and it kind of bubbled our paint. So we had to replace a little drywall and paint it all up.
Yeah. So we had some painting going on.
We did. It's looking good, I think.
Yeah, it looks real good.
All right. Dak Disney Dad.
Okay. Considering the wait time for new LTV orders, would you think bidding on a dealer demo model to be a reasonable alternative? Any guess on what % off MSRP for a 6-month-old demo? Thanks.
Well, you kind of answered your old question there. It takes 16 months now, pretty much, to get if you ordered one from Leisure Travel Van, and I think other manufacturers have also real long lead times. To order a new one, it's 16 months. There are very few used ones anywhere around. it is a seller's market. So if you start offering a percentage off MSRP, they can say thanks a lot, good luck, and take the next call and sell it.
And maybe if you found one that you really like, sometimes you offend people when you try to offer less.
RVs are
If you have a good relationship, or you can say, if you can, talk to them, nice guy to nice person, whoever this is, or rather than, I'll tell you what I'm going to do.
Yeah, they don't.
How you approach it.
Even even before the pandemic, the market demand was so high that there was not a lot of play. This maybe 5-10%, not much. This isn't like buying a car. This is not like buying a car.
There isn't
and
much
everybody
dealing with a car.
Yeah, there isn't much dealing with cars anymore either. But
so
there's not a lot of deals. And put yourself in the dealer's thing. Why would they sell that to you at a percentage off when the next guy will probably pay over?
And the problem with dealers, they can't get the stock to sell. They're not going to sell it cheap because they got to get every cent they can out of it because they don't know when they're going to replace that one.
And I don't know of any dealers that would have a demo of an RV. I don't know of any of them that have.
You're lucky if you found a demo.
They don't have demos. It's not like cars.
Not most.
They might have a
used something they would rent it out or something.
Do you know somebody's got a demo? That's unusual. So, see what you can do with it. But I don't know of anybody that has a demo. Maybe there's a dealer watching us. Is there such a thing as an RV demo?
I think maybe one they rent out and they decided they're going to sell it.
Maybe. Now, a lot of people will do that. They'll go to like Cruise. Well, if you want, that's Cruise America. They have kind of, factory built production line Class C's. But they sell those. They keep them very well maintained, and sometimes you can get a pretty good price on a used Class C from Cruise America.
D. Parker.
Okay,
how difficult is it to handle and maintain your fur babies shedding in your RV?
Yeah,
we are constantly covered with dog hair.
See it. I'm covered with.
And had hoped to get Bo a bath before we left because we went to our kids' house and I didn't want to take in a stinky dog. But my poor daughter-in-law, she got a stinky dog, and I'm going to get him a bath as soon as I can down here. Then he's going to really shed like crazy.
Yeah, because
you're constant hair. And Bo is very athletic. He likes to run and jump and leap and bound.
He loves it.
And so I said we should have spelled Bo, B-E-A-U. We shouldn't have spelled it B-O. Power of a name.
Yeah. And when he wants to sleep in our beds, we kind of go, "Oh no!"
Yeah, he's a stinking dog.
We keep a big. He's a stinking dog. We have a big bath towel we put over our.
Good thing I got allergies. My sense of smell isn't quite what it should be.
Beth,
what will be your next camping adventure?
Probably probably next week. I've got to make some calls tomorrow, but I think we've got a couple of stories we're chasing that would have us camping in the middle of the Florida Southern Peninsula. Someplace between Ocala and Tampa in that area. And we've got some stuff we want to check out. That's probably our next one. And then maybe Texas. We'll see.
I don't think we're ever going to get to Texas.
Well, we keep talking about it. We were supposed to go there last year, but we
COVID.
have time kind of, but that's still kind of in our dreams. And then we've got, we would love to go west again this year.
And I don't want to go to Texas when it's too hot.
And we don't want to go there during spring break. Because spring break's coming back again this year. And, the thing we've learned this year after last is we're not going to make long-term plans. So
one day at a time.
Well, maybe a week at a time we'll try. But we hope to be someplace next week. Oh, we have a really cool one we want to do maybe this week. If we can pull that off. We want to go boondocking here. We have a really cool area we want to go to near the Emerald Coast. I don't want to give too much away. You remind me that people steal our ideas and they do their own blog posts on them. We have a really good. We really have an adventure.
Something fun that we're trying to organize and get done this week. So
it's
hopefully
an
we'll be
adventure.
able to do it.
It will be an adventure, right?
Right.
So we'll let you know. Deb Castell.
We are making reservations at Tequamatum Falls in early September. Which campground is the best to stay in? Lower Campground.
Yeah,
we never camped there. That's by the Lower Falls.
And they close that in the fall.
But
I think it'll be open in September.
It should be open in September.
Yeah.
And the Upper Falls, you have to.
Well, yeah.
The Upper Falls, it's a lovely walk.
There is no campground in the Upper Falls. There's two in the Lower Falls. There's one that's right on the Lower Falls, down about a mile from the entrance, and that's pretty nice. But then there's the Hemlock Campground, which is the one we stay at, which is kind of an upper level of the upper Lower Falls. How's that?
But I guess why I consider it the upper is that there's a nice walk along the river that you can take to the upper falls.
To the Lower Falls.
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
upper.
from the lower. There's a walk from the Lower Falls to the Upper Falls. There's about 4 miles.
Yeah.
There's a walk from the Hemlock Campground to the Lower Falls. It's about a mile. And if you stay at the lower loop of the Crown Falls, you're right next to the Lower Falls. Does that make sense? Are we talking it? I don't know.
They're both good.
Yeah, it's all good.
It's all good.
William Robbins.
Haven't seen anything on the Hershey RV Show for 2021. Is it scheduled for this year? Have we heard anything?
Well, Pennsylvania is one of those states that has been, oh gosh, I don't want to get everybody yelling at me. I have not heard anything. How's that? But it's in Pennsylvania. And Pennsylvania has been extremely aggressive in its restrictions because of COVID. So I don't know whether they'll even have one this year. I don't know. But there's a lot of other ones that are on. Kate McChesney.
Let's see. Are you planning on
the Honda at Key West? We did that last year. We did that last year. That's right at the edge of the edge of Key West, just outside of Key West on the way down.
I want to know if it's worth the money. It's extremely expensive and hard to get in, and the lots are small.
Yeah, it is a wonderful.
You're
place.
on the Keys.
Yeah, anything on the Keys is expensive. You know, we kind of like Boyd's. It's the oldest campground down there in Key West. It's right in pretty much in the town. Some of the lots are really close, but it's got an Key West ambiance that's a lot of fun. The Honda is just a little bit north of Key West, and it's also pretty close together, but it's a beautiful area.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are a number of really upscale RV resorts up and down the Keys that, but you're going to spend over $100 a night, maybe more. We found a great campground, doesn't have any of the Keys, in near Nashville. We almost stayed in this time, but it's about $100 a night too, but it's right on a huge reservoir. So we'll probably check that out next time we go down to Nashville. So, Steely Mommy. I got that one.
If Serenities are no longer being made, would you advise against acquisition of a 2020 Serenity?
I don't think they made them in 2020. I think 2019 was the last model they made them, but no, they'll have great, you'll always be able to get parts from them. And Leisure will take good care of you. And it's a well-made luxury unit. You'll have a great time with it. But, and I'm not saying that I would be surprised someday if they don't come back, once the chassis situation eases up, they might have them again.
They're a beautiful,
yeah, they really are nice.
RV.
So no, I would get one if you find one that you can pick up. That's great. Ziden.
Do you have any experience with cassette toilets? If so, would you choose one if you had the option?
Today?
That's the question I asked him today.
Today?
Yes.
Yes. I would choose one today. And I'm not going to give you any more comments, but today I would have. Oh, maybe I'll talk about it next week.
Once you get over the drama.
Yeah, there's a lot of drama. Jeff Hill.
East Tennessee. Have you been able to use a shower at a motel without getting a room, Jeff?
I've not tried one in East Tennessee, but in other parts of the country, yeah, they often will say, yeah, sure, no problem.
Maybe it depends on how small a
yeah,
town
it depends on, yeah. And I wouldn't try it at a Holiday Inn or a Marriott or something like that. I would go to a motel and, that looks nice and where you can actually look at the owner and say, hey, look, we're camping. We would love to, try it. You might have to go to a couple of them, but you'll find one. They're pretty good folks, most of those small motel owners. D Prince.
Have y'all ever been to the Tulip Festival up that way? I was thinking about doing a road trip to tiptoe through the tulips.
Yes, we have. We have a video on the RV Lifestyle channel. Just go to YouTube RV Lifestyle, and you can find it. There it goes right there. And there it is. There's a link to it that Chris Coley put up for us. The Tulip Festival is on. It was canceled last year. Michigan is, and I'm not trying to be political, Michigan, certainly you all know, has had an extremely aggressive policy of restrictions because of COVID. I'm not passing judgment. I'm just telling you the truth. And that still has a residual effect on many events in Michigan, one of which is the Holland Tulip Festival. They are going to have it this year, but why would you go? They're not doing the parade.
Oh, the parades
They're
are
doing
so
a
nice.
virtual 10K run. Well, why would you do that? They are limiting the number of people that can go into the the immersive tulip grounds where you can go in and see them. So, why bother? I mean, you go look online and look at pictures, and there's not much to see there until they open that up again and you see it. Rosamund Crawley.
Okay, when you know you're going to dry camp for 3 or more days, how full do you fill the freshwater tank?
All the way. And maybe if 3 or 4 days, that'll last. But if I needed more, we have these big plastic bags that you can fill, and usually
Plastic, yeah,
they're not, they're good plastic.
durable.
Yeah, we have one that's like 5 gallons. So I can put water in that. I don't like to, because I think kind of it's hard to carry and it sloshes around. But if I was going to do more than 3 to 5 days, I would probably top one of those off. And I have a siphon hose that I can put that into the freshwater tank. So you can, in many campgrounds, even rustic campgrounds that are boondocking campgrounds, if you can find one of those, they have water pumps, and you can pump those up and siphon that into the tank. So, but usually I just fill it up, and that'll last 3 or 4 days without any problems at all. Debbie
is saying, thank you for doing these Ask Us Anything. We are hopefully getting a new RV sometime soon because of the supply line problems and many comments on user groups of the brand new RVs.
Yeah, it's not ending. This supply, I think we're going to see that in every aspect of our economy. But, it was a year ago this week that everything started to shut down. This week. A year ago, we just, on this day.
March 9th.
Right. We were leaving the Keys.
Oh.
And we had left the Keys. We went to Everglades and spent a night at the Everglades. And then we headed
Naples.
We stayed at Where did we stay in Naples? Yeah, we did.
At
we
the KOA campground.
We stayed in Naples.
My brother and his wife.
Yep, we stayed in Naples, and then we headed up here on March 9th. And that's when it all shut down.
And that was the beginning for us.
And
of a weird year.
And all the RV factories, all the suppliers shut down for 2 to 3 months, most of them. That supply chain has been irrevocably harmed, at least for the next year, probably, they're saying. Many of the RVs, if you go to Elkhart, Indiana, and if you can get people to be honest and candid with you, there are RVs that are all done, except they don't have an awning on it, or they can't get the step, or they're short a water pump, or some silly part that they need to complete the unit, but they can't get it because of the supply chain problem. And then there's still the problem of getting chassis. That was hard even before the pandemic. It's doubly hard now. From the Ford Transit to the Sprinter chassis to the Ram ProMaster, these smaller chassis for smaller RVs. Good grief. This is going to take a long time to straighten out. Try, if you can get a used one, you gotta buy it right away. Hey, we got a super chat for $4.99 from Josie RV Journey.
Okay, we are going cross country this summer. MD to Maryland to Washington State, 10 weeks long. What is one place you recommend we don't miss?
Oh my gosh. Well,
from Maryland to Washington State.
The easy answer is Yellowstone and Glacier. and all parts in between. But there's also the Tetons. I mean, how do you pick one of those not to miss?
And then it depends on your hobbies and interests. Driving along, start asking the local folks what you need to see that people miss.
I mean, one year when we went out that way, we followed the Oregon Trail. And then one year we followed the Lewis and Clark Expedition Trail out that way. And Lewis and Clark actually will take you right up to the Oregon coast. And you can see some, it's, you know, you make it an educational thing, you learn about it. But, you know, without knowing where you're going and how, I mean, I'd say the Tetons, Yellowstone, and Glacier, that's all on your way. And you might have to go south a little bit to the Tetons and then Yellowstone, then up. But just don't miss those three, right?
Those are the easy ones. They probably want something
and,
off the beaten
Mount Rainier
path
and
that they don't think of.
Washington, and you know, Oregon's got all sorts of spectacular coastline of Oregon. If you can take that up to Washington, you got 10 weeks, so you have a lot of time to really get out there and explore. Enjoy. Columbia River in Washington. Try the wines. Best wines, amazing wines. Better than I think in California in many cases. Dak Disney Dad.
Okay, I know one dealer with a 2021 demo that they are auctioning off in July.
Yeah,
fun.
Really?
Go for it.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
I guarantee you're not going to get it. Well, maybe you will. I don't know. That's great.
That is
Send
great.
me a note. I'd love to know who
that would be a
dealer
fun
is.
story to cover. I wonder.
I'd like to talk to that dealer. That's very cool. That's a great idea.
That is. He'll bring people to his.
And I don't know why he calls it a demo, because, but maybe it's.
Maybe somebody at the dealership used it. I don't know.
Yes, if you think of it, drop. It's Mike at RVLifestyle.com, and I would love to
check into that.
That'd be really great. That'd be a fun story, don't you think? We'll put him on the podcast.
Yeah.
Scott Campbell.
With everyone getting out of their homes this summer, isn't it likely campground reservations will be very hard to get? This could be a frustrating year for RV owners.
Scott, we've been reporting on this on the RV Lifestyle blog and on our podcast.
You are right,
all
Scott.
Year round. Yes, you know.
It is going to be frustrating.
We've talked to experts after experts in every part of the industry, and it is going to be really frustrating. And even last week, I think we had a piece on the blog, 17 ways to get a camp space this summer. It talks about how hard it is to find a spot, and you have to have reservations. If you really want to enjoy your RV, you've got to learn about boondocking. You really do. If you've never boondocked, a self-plug here, unashamedly a self-plug, get our RV Lifestyle Introduction to Boondocking ebook. You can download it right from the internet immediately and follow that. We have so much material in there about finding free spots or how to boondock, how to find the best boondock spots. But it is going to take a lot of patience. We interviewed a campground owner last week on our RV podcast, and listen to that interview with her. She talks about how these COVID campers, that's what they call them, that came on the scene last year. Many people said, well, they're all going to be flash in the pan. They're going to leave. Some of them have, but at least half, it looks like, about half are staying with it and are really now hooked on the RV lifestyle. Now there's all these new people that are coming in this year. So it's going to take a lot of patience and ingenuity and early morning calls and checks for cancellations. But yeah, it's going to be a frustrating experience for a lot. There's no way around it.
You can do it. You can do it.
Robin.
Okay. When you're at your campsite and you want to go somewhere for the day, do you put all your outdoor stuff back into your camper? Yes, it's a good idea. It's a different world now than it used to be. When I grew up, we never had to lock our doors. And it's slightly different now. You don't want to tempt people to steal your stuff, especially things that you need and that would be really hard to replace. Get a sign, make a sign, this site taken, and leave that. You're tempting people. I mean, I just hate to say that because it used to be, because I'm from the Midwest, you didn't worry about anybody taking anything.
Yeah. They might even take your sign.
I've thought about that because we've seen some really cute, creative signs that, boy, I'd be afraid to put that out. And sometimes they'll throw away your sign and take your spot anyway.
Yeah.
But that's
if
if you're really someplace primitive in a state park or something, they know that that's your site because you've registered at a desk and there's nobody can take it.
Yep. But make some sort of a sign. Some people just do something real simple, like run a piece of wire around their picnic table and put this campsite occupied, out exploring or something like that. And
it's something because people who come from the heartland states and small towns that, you're not used to having to lock your car or anything like that. And, they go someplace and whatever, they leave their rig or they rent a room or a condo and they run off to the beach and they don't leave something valuable sitting where somebody walking past the window can look in and say, hey, I see a purse sitting there. It's a different world.
And we should point out, we've never had a problem. We've not lost the site. We've worried about it a couple of times. A couple of times we've been boondocking in the middle of nowhere. We've woken up and find people near us. Why did they pick that spot? They did it because they figured it was safe and secure, I guess. But you shouldn't have any problem. But it doesn't. I'd put it away. All right, we're getting down to the last question here, so we're going to make this one our last before we run out of our hour. Can't believe how fast it's gone. Brian Browning.
I want to buy a used Chinook Glacier, but they are so overpriced right now. Should I wait or buy now?
Great question.
That is a good question.
How much do you want to wait? A year or two? Do you have a year or two to wait? I don't. I mean, I don't, this pandemic, if nothing else, taught me that time is irretrievable. We all basically lost a year of relationships, of exploring, of adventure last year. Do you want to, I'm not talking about the pandemic, but I mean, in this case, you're waiting for a unit to be a little more affordable. How important is money to you? I mean, can you afford it? If you can afford it and you really want to do it, then go for it. If money is really tight with you and, don't overextend yourself ever for an RV, but do you have a year or two to wait? You don't know what tomorrow may bring and you can sell it again, right? Because if it's overpriced now, it'll be overpriced when you sell it. So, it's your comfort level, Brian. And that's it. We are at our hours. I want to just remind everybody, the newsletter, I realize a lot of you don't know that we put out a newsletter. We send out daily notices about really interesting stuff that we come across. So check our newsletter. You go to rvlifestyle.com. You can subscribe. You'll get it tomorrow morning. I got to remember to write this now because we have to still unpack. Give this a thumbs up. Would you do that before you go? Click that little thumbs up thing on YouTube. That would be a big help. And then we have a Facebook group that is a great resource for you. There's the address down there below. Almost 50,000 people subscribe to our Facebook group. So you can get an answer almost in real time to any questions or problems you may have. And there's the link to all of our books, our boondocking books, our 7-day travel adventure guides. We've got 2 in the works right now that we are getting rapidly close to getting ready to get printed. We got some big news coming on our books in the next couple of weeks. And let me just bring Phyllis on and ask her. Phyllis, should I just give them a hint about what's coming with all of our cool merch and our new designs, or keep that secret for a while?
Well, I was wondering if you were going to say something. We do have a short link straight to all of the new clothing stuff if you want to.
We haven't made a big deal of this, but we should make a big deal. We have some new 2021 merch. That's cool shirts. Like, this is our small house, big yard. We have this available, and we got 2 new designs, one boondocker and one Jennifer's favorite saying, which is
Happy trails.
Happy trails. So what is the link? I don't have it here.
It's
put up.
It's rvlifestyle.com/go shopping.
All one word, go shopping?
All one word, go shopping.
Okay. rvlifestyle.com/go shopping. Tell us what you think of the new designs. We are really excited about them. I have ours on order, and I was going to we'll make a big deal when we get them because we'll be wearing ours.
Yeah, because we're also putting a lot more up too. But Yeah, so definitely the staples are there, and now we're just going to add on some fun stuff. It'd be good.
So check that out. Check out our books, all that stuff, and new content on our blog. Everybody good? Did we miss any seriously important questions that we need to address before we start unpacking here?
There was a bunch right at the end, but we'll try and go back in and check them.
All right. Phyllis, Care, thank you for being there for us again tonight. That's
Bye-bye.
awesome. And thanks to Chris Cowley, who is in West Virginia, moderating our YouTube group. Thank all of you people for those questions. We love your questions, great questions. And we're all in this together. And there's still a lot of land out there that you can go experience and have fun. There's still places to fly in campgrounds. We just all have to be a little more patient. And that goes for me especially. All right. I don't know what else to say other than this was the fastest hour on YouTube as far as I can tell. I don't know how it's just like seems like we just started and it's over. So we'll see you guys. New content every day on the blog. Check the newsletter out. Check the podcast coming Wednesday. And our bedding video review will be on the YouTube channel on Saturday. And we'll, of course, be on our social media channels. Instagram, I didn't mention Instagram. Follow us at RV Lifestyle Mike. RV Lifestyle Mike. All right, that's it for now.
Happy trails.